Hi, it's Bonita from Pennies to Dollars. Today we're going to talk about whether or not your clutter is a cause for a deeper situation that you're dealing with. There's usually a root cause to things. We learn this in healthcare, we learn this in quality assurance. There's a 5 whys question that you will ask yourself when something happens. Why did you buy this? Why did you want this? And then with that answer, you ask why again until you've done it 5 times. And the saying is that those 5 whys will take you to the root cause of the problem. So it's something to think about when something happens and you make a purchase and you're like, why did I buy this? Why did I think I needed this? Maybe start with those 5 whys before the purchase and see if that keeps you from buying something so that you won't ask yourself later, why did I do this? Are you filling a void when you buy things? Sometimes this is the case. Sometimes we have behavioral addictions even with shopping, where they're persistent and they're intense urges for repeated behaviors that you carry out even if you don't see a real benefit. And people do this a lot with maybe Amazon shopping or window shopping that ends up to being purchases. They start out with these behaviors that are desires to do these things and then later regret that they did them or they impact their life in a negative way. Sometimes the quick solution is just to feel better instead of making a careful solution to whatever the problem is. There is emotionally attractive triggers that make you feel better. And we're all guilty of these. And maybe you have not really thought of it in this manner before, but there's emotionally attractive triggers to buy yourself things for rewards, to run through that drive-through after work and buy yourself an ice cream, or to stop at that quick shop and get yourself something, or go through that drive-through at lunch because you're working so hard. There's lots of little hidden emotionally rewarding things that we do for ourselves that then at the end of the month we realize that we've maybe spent $160 on snacks. So look at those little emotionally hidden reward systems that we have going on that are actually self-sabotaging us when it comes to our budget. We're always searching for stimulation or pleasure in our everyday life, and purchasing online is a way to do those little rewarding things from our own home. And so if we're feeling stress or if we're feeling overwhelmed, sometimes we'll just run and browse what's on the computer and then we end up ordering things. So be aware that those things do happen because they're at our fingertips these days, and it makes it so easy to totally blow our budget from our own home. Other behavioral addictions, and you've probably heard of these before and you know they're addictions, are gambling, video games, people being on their phones too much and ignoring other people, overeating, turning to food, for that pleasure feeling, intense exercising. And I had a TikTok on this and I said anything can become an addiction. Anything. Garage sailing, anything can become an addiction if we're not careful. So why not let frugal be your addiction? If it's going to be an addiction, maybe have it be a healthier one, or one that doesn't sabotage you when you're trying to work so hard to pay your bills, and then at the end of the month you realize you've spent that $160 on snacks and you've sabotaged yourself. We do these things to escape, to de-stress, to relax, and we do it for security reasons. In America, people think that if we have a lot of things, if we have a car, land, a house, that is security. But is it really security if it's tying us down, if it's preventing us from doing things, if it's keeping us so overwhelmed trying to pay for everything that we have got? Is that really security? A lot of times that is a example of self-sabotage. We just don't really talk about it because it's the way of life is to have all of these nice things. Even overworking yourself can be a behavioral addiction. We don't think about that either, but if you know somebody that's working 7 days a week and they have 3 and 4 jobs and they're working into the evening, sometimes that can be a very rewarding, stimulating type of addiction as well that we do to ourselves, but it doesn't really make us better. It makes us overworked, it makes us stressed, it makes us overstimulated. Anything like these things that are done to an excess where they cause a negative outcome are a behavioral problem, and we need to recognize that and see if we can address that when we're doing our budgets, and be very mindful of the fact that we have these tendencies to do these things. Because what is the negative outcome for this? Debt. Lots of debt. Debt that you will be working your whole life to try to pay off. So if you have stuff that you feel is causing you to feel like you have more security, the more things that you have, think about, is it really causing you to feel like you have more security, or is it really just causing you a negative outcome? Sometimes we envy people that have pools, big houses, fancy cars, nice clothes, nice handbags. We envy those things. But if you think about it, what if it's just debt that you're envying? What if what you're seeing isn't even paid for? A lot of times, those of us that have the smaller houses, the older cars, the secondhand store things are the ones that actually have the most security because we're not in debt. So just some very deep concepts to think about today, and I hope that they're helpful for you. And I hope that you can analyze your own situation and maybe tweak it so that you can address some of these if they apply to you. You have a great day, and thank you for watching.